Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, today we will explore a fundamental and powerful aspect of our faith. The prayer of Fajr, that sacred moment that marks the beginning of each day and brings infinite blessings to those who dedicate themselves to it. Getting up early to worship Allah is a true source of spiritual light, inner serenity, and personal transformation. This simple but profound gesture sets the stage for a day full of guidance and productivity. If this topic touches you and you would like to know more about the importance of this prayer, I invite you to subscribe now on our page and share this article with your loved ones, so that everyone can benefit from this divine wisdom. Let us make this light shine in the hearts of every Muslim around us. Don't wait any longer. Together, let's share the blessing of Fajr. Wake up between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., particularly to perform the prayer of Fajr, has particular importance in the Islamic tradition. This prayer, which marks the start of the day for Muslims, is more than a simple act of devotion. It is a way to get closer to Allah, benefit from His mercy, and achieve inner tranquility and spiritual well-being that will influence the rest of the day. In this first part, we will explore in depth the role and meaning of Salat al-Fajr in Islam. Fajr, an essential prayer. The prayer of Fajr is one of the 5 obligatory prayers of Muslims. It is the first prayer of the day and must be performed before dawn. The importance of this prayer lies not only in its obligatory status, but also in the spiritual and material benefits associated with it. Indeed, it marks the start of the day and constitutes a privileged moment to connect with Allah, strengthen one's faith, and start the day in a state of spiritual purity. Fajr is made up of 2 units of prayer, rak'ah, and it is done even before the sun rises. There are 2 distinct moments in the Fajr prayer, the beginning of dusk, al-Fajr al-Sadiq, which corresponds to the first signal of dawn, and the end of twilight when the sun begins to rise. Prayer must be performed between these 2 times, which involves waking up early, often around 5 a.m. in many areas. The divine reward for those who pray Fajr. The spiritual benefits of Salat al-Fajr are immense in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever performs the Fajr prayer is under the protection of Allah." Sahih Muslim. This word from the Prophet highlights a very profound dimension of Fajr. He who wakes up to pray is protected by Allah throughout the day. This protection is not limited to mere physical security, but also encompasses the protection of the believer's soul, heart, and thoughts. By being under divine protection, the believer feels surrounded by peace and guidance, regardless of the magnitude of the difficulties that arise during the day. Furthermore, Fajr is an act of voluntary and sincere obedience to Allah, an act that the Muslim performs with the awareness of being worshipping his Creator. It is therefore natural that those who perform this prayer early in the morning, when the world is still asleep, receive a great reward. The act of rising to pray, despite the difficulties and comfort of sleep, is seen as a sacrifice of great spiritual value, a moment of tranquility and reflection. Another major aspect of Fajr is the tranquility that accompanies it. It is often done before other family members wake up, before the noises and distractions of the modern world begin to take over the day. This makes Fajr an ideal time for prayer, as the believer can fully concentrate on his or her relationship with Allah away from worldly concerns. Getting up early allows you to start the day with inner peace, which is essential to maintain a serene mind throughout the day. This serenity is enhanced by the calm atmosphere of the morning, where the believer can meditate on the greatness of Allah and His blessings. It is also a good time to read the Quran and reflect on the sacred verses, thus deepening one's spiritual understanding. The time of Fajr is therefore a privileged time to refocus, purify your heart and ask Allah to guide each action of the day. This inner peace, fueled by prayer, is a powerful remedy against the stress and concerns that can invade the mind as the hours pass. The spiritual light of Fajr. Another blessing of the Fajr prayer is the light it brings to the believer's day. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "There is a light in the Fajr prayer." This light is not only symbolic, but encompasses the divine guidance, mental clarity, and blessing that comes with one who wakes up early to pray. By performing this prayer with sincerity and devotion, the believer opens his heart to the light of Allah, which leads him to make better decisions throughout the day. Fajr is thus a means of receiving blessings that extend throughout the day. This goes beyond simple spiritual well-being. There are also practical benefits. The believer who begins his day with this prayer is often more productive, more clear-sighted, and more balanced. He is also more capable of handling the challenges of daily life due to the inner strength his connection with Allah gives him. The role of personal commitment. Getting up for Fajr is an act of personal discipline. Despite the temptations to stay in bed and the comfort of sleep, the Muslim chooses to get up to worship Allah. This gesture of dedication and sacrifice is a central aspect of the Islamic faith. It shows that the believer is willing to overcome his desires and invest in his relationship with Allah, putting aside worldly distractions. Fajr, thus, is not only a prayer, but a symbolic act of faith, resistance to temptations, and inner purification. It is a test of the believer's commitment to his faith and his willingness to be faithful to divine precepts. This discipline is an essential pillar for strengthening the spiritual connection with Allah and for living a meaningful life. Get up to pray, Salat al-Fajr, between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., is therefore a deeply spiritual practice, carrying many blessings and rewards in Islam. This allows you to connect with Allah from the start of the day, obtain His protection, and experience a day full of serenity and productivity. In addition to its spiritual benefits, Fajr is also a practice that promotes personal discipline, inner tranquility, and spiritual light. Performing this prayer sincerely is a way of living a more meaningful life, guided by faith and divine blessing. The wisdom behind waking up at dawn in Islam. Get up early to perform the prayer. Fajr is not only a religious obligation, but also an act deeply rooted in divine wisdom. In Islam, every aspect of life has a purpose and meaning. Waking up at dawn, before the sun completely illuminates the world, is a special time not only to worship Allah, but also to gain physical, mental, and social benefits. In this second part, we will explore the deeper reasons and hidden benefits behind this early awakening, as well as how this practice shapes a balanced and fulfilled life. Spiritual and personal discipline. Waking up early in the morning for the Fajr prayer requires considerable effort. Sleep, especially after a long day of work or study, is a basic need of the human body. However, sacrificing this moment of rest shows a spiritual discipline that goes beyond simple obedience to religious laws. It reflects the ability to overcome personal desires, to focus on larger spiritual goals. In this sense, the act of getting up early becomes a form of purification of the heart, because it teaches self-control and detachment from immediate pleasures in favor of eternal well-being. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, often emphasized the importance of work on yourself and the personal discipline in the spiritual journey. Every Muslim who performs the Fajr prayer takes a step forward in this process of personal improvement. It is not just a question of fulfilling an obligation, but of enriching one's faith, strengthening one's relationship with Allah, and developing a character that combines patience, perseverance, and humility. The physical and mental benefits of waking up early beyond spiritual benefits. There are also benefits physical and mental considerable to get up early to pray. Islam does not dissociate the body from the soul. On the contrary, it teaches that the care of the body is intrinsically linked to that of the mind. In this sense, getting up early to pray Fajr has beneficial effects on the physical and mental health of the believer. Improved physical health. Getting up early to pray promotes healthy sleep routine. By rising before sunrise, a believer is encouraged to fall asleep early, which contributes to a better sleep cycle. Restful sleep is crucial for overall well-being. Getting up early also allows you to take advantage of the fresh morning air, which is beneficial for respiratory health and metabolism regulation. Mental clarity and concentration. It is well known that the first hours of the day are when the brain is freshest and most able to concentrate. Getting up to pray at Fajr allows you to take full advantage of it, offering a mental clarity and one concentration accrue throughout the day. This can have a considerable impact on intellectual performance and the management of daily responsibilities, whether in work, studies, or family tasks. Stress reduction. The Fajr prayer also serves as a shield against stress. Indeed, when we start the day with a calming prayer, it prepares the heart and mind to face the challenges of the day. Their stress reduction morning, thus acquired, extends to all facets of life. The believer who begins the day in inner peace and in harmony with his Creator is better prepared to handle unexpected events and external pressures. A structure during the day. Another blessing of waking up at dawn is the structure it gives to the day. In a world where schedules are often flexible and distractions are omnipresent, the Salat al-Fajr establishes an organization from the early hours of the morning. This organization becomes a common thread throughout the day, offering the believer not only a spiritual framework, but also a temporal and practical framework. Waking up for the Fajr prayer imposes a certain routine. Once the prayer is completed, the believer can focus on other activities of the day, such as work or study, with a clear mind and renewed energy. This feeling of controlled time management can increase productivity and make the day less chaotic. Those who get up early often find that they have more time to complete their tasks and can complete their work with less stress and more satisfaction. The link with the community and social relations. Although the Fajr prayer is an individual act, it also strengthens the community connections. In many parts of the world, Muslims gather to perform the Fajr prayer in congregation at the mosque. This morning, gathering creates a sense of fraternity and solidarity. It allows the community to start the day together in a spirit of unity and devotion. This shared moment, before the day even begins for many, reinforces social connections and nourishes the sense of solidarity in the Muslim community. Additionally, the Fajr prayer, when performed in congregation, is more beneficial than when performed alone, as mentioned by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. This spiritual fraternity is a way of supporting each other and reinforcing the values of collaboration, mutual aid, and kindness within society. A blessing that reflects throughout the day. Getting up early to pray is not just an isolated act. It's a blessing which extends throughout the day. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "O Allah, bless my community in its mornings." This divine blessing, according to this supplication, manifests itself throughout the day. So whoever wakes up early to pray receives continued blessings, whether in his efforts, in his interactions, or in his decisions. This blessing goes beyond simple comfort or increased productivity. It encompasses the personal development and spiritual harmonious relationships with others, and a general feeling of inner peace. In other words, Fajr is a key that opens the door to a day full of success and divine blessings. Waking up at dawn to perform the Fajr prayer is an act of profound importance in Islam. This sacred moment offers benefits that go far beyond simple religious practice. It brings spiritual, physical, mental, and social benefits, providing a structure per day, one protection spiritual and a mental clarity. More than a simple act of devotion, Fajr is a moment of connection with Allah, a way to purify the heart, cultivate personal discipline, and improve one's daily life. Whether in the tranquility of dawn or in the excitement of the day to come, Fajr remains an inexhaustible source of blessings and benefits for those who choose to get up early to worship their Creator. The impact of Fajr on daily life. A pillar for a balanced life path. The Salat al-Fajr, the dawn prayer, is much more than a simple act of devotion. It profoundly influences the daily life of the believer, acting as a central pillar for a balanced and blessed lifestyle. This prayer, performed early in the morning, begins the day in a spiritual way, but it also has a tangible impact on the body, mind, and social relationships. In this third part, we will explore in depth how Fajr shapes the life of the believer beyond the prayer itself, helping to create a harmonious and enriching structure of life. An anchor for time management. One of the most remarkable effects of the Fajr prayer is the impact it has on the time management. By getting up early to perform this prayer, the believer gets a head start on his day. This early morning awakening imposes a regular routine that helps organize the day more efficiently. Unlike other times when the day may begin in chaos or haste, Fajr allows us to structure time in a more conscious and deliberate way. One of the first blessings of this organization is the ability to accomplish more tasks in less time. The believer, having already started his day with a morning prayer, feels more energetic and focused. He is less likely to procrastinate because the start of the day already begins auspiciously. This proactive time management spills over into other aspects of the day, creating a cycle of productivity. Fajr therefore becomes the driving force that sets the tone for each day and encourages living in a more disciplined way. The Fajr prayer as a source of inner peace. Fajr is also a major source of inner peace. In a world where there is constant turmoil and worry, getting up early to worship Allah brings deep peace. It's a moment of spiritual connection where the believer withdraws from worldly distractions to focus on their relationship with the Creator. This time of morning contemplation allows us to purify the heart, open the mind to divine mercy, and begin the day in deep serenity. This inner peace, obtained during the Fajr prayer, is reflected in the believer's actions throughout the day. The heart is calmer, the mind is clearer, and patience is strengthened. When you start the day with such tranquility, daily challenges such as frustrations at work, family difficulties, or unexpected events become easier to manage. In addition, the Fajr prayer allows us to better understand trials by nourishing the conviction that we are under the protection and guidance of Allah, which infuses hope and courage into each action undertaken. Promote a healthy and balanced life. The practice of Fajr also plays a crucial role in maintaining a healthy and balanced life. By rising early to pray, the believer follows a natural rhythm of life, aligned with the cycles of the sun and nature. This synchronization with the natural biological rhythm has a positive impact on health. Getting up early often encourages you to go to bed early, allowing for restful and regular sleep, which is fundamental for physical and mental health. Praying early in the morning also has practical benefits. After Fajr, many people find that they have a special time to engage in healthy activities, such as physical exercise, the lecture, or even preparing a balanced breakfast. This moment before the rush of the day allows you to take care of yourself, take care of your health and prepare for a busy day, taking care of the physical, mental, and spiritual aspects of your life. The Fajr community, strengthening social ties. Although the Fajr prayer is an individual act, it also has a community dimension important. In many parts of the world, Muslims gather in mosques to perform Fajr in congregation. This morning, gathering creates a feeling of unity and fraternity. It is a time when the community comes together to pay homage to Allah and support each other in their faith. This gathering creates strong bonds between community members, strengthening the sense of solidarity. It is an opportunity to meet, share blessings, and help each other in times of need. Additionally, it is said in the hadiths that congregational prayer is more beneficial than individual prayer. This encourages a culture of social cohesion and of spiritual sharing, which goes beyond simple prayer. Fajr, through this fraternity, develops human relationships based on respect, cooperation, and mutual love, essential values in Islam. Fajr as a key to spiritual and material success. The Salat al-Fajr is a key to achieving spiritual and material success. By starting the day with a sincere prayer, the believer places himself under the protection of Allah and invokes His blessing for everything he undertakes during the day. The blessings of Fajr are not limited to moments of prayer, but spread to every action of the day. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever performs the Fajr prayer, Allah grants him protection." This protection covers not only physical safety, but also the accomplishment of goals and success in all areas of life. This means that the believer who begins his day with this beneficial prayer is not only guided spiritually, but he is also strengthened in his material endeavors. He is more productive, calmer, and more able to succeed in his endeavors, while remaining aware that his actions are placed under divine guidance. Fajr as a catalyst for personal transformation. Getting up early to pray, Fajr is an act that transcends simple prayer. It is an act of personal transformation. When an individual chooses to rise at dawn, he chooses to transcend his desires and immediate comfort to devote himself to a higher purpose, to please Allah. This action becomes a catalyst for radical inner change. Fajr, beyond prayer, symbolizes victory over sleep, laziness, and worldly distractions. It embodies discipline, the will to overcome obstacles, and the ability to choose the spiritual instead of hardware. This discipline acquired through Fajr is reflected in all aspects of the believer's life. It becomes more thoughtful, plus resilient and more engaged. The Fajr prayer, practiced with sincerity, transforms the individual into a person more aware of his faith and more determined to lead a life in accordance with Islamic principles. He becomes aware of the fragility of life and the importance of each moment. He begins to appreciate the blessings of Allah and understand that every act, no matter how small, can be a means of earning his satisfaction. Fajr, a remedy for the confusion and turmoil of the world. The modern world, with its incessant distractions, pressures, and anxieties, can be a source of confusion and stress. Fajr, however, offers a divine remedy to this agitation. When the believer wakes up before dawn to pray, he chooses a time to silence and of peace, far from the noise and distractions of the world. This allows the mind to clear itself, the heart to purify itself, and the soul to rest in tranquility. In this sacred moment, far from the daily tumult, the believer finds the opportunity to refocus his thoughts, re-examine your priorities, and of reconnect with Allah. This regular practice reduces stress, increases mental clarity, and allows you to make wiser and more thoughtful decisions. The believer's mind becomes a space of calm in which he can restore his inner balance and regain trust necessary to overcome life's challenges. Fajr, and the activation of blessings in daily life. Fajr does not just transform the spiritual life of the believer, he also has tangible impacts in daily life. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "O Allah, bless my community in its mornings." When the believer performs the Fajr prayer sincerely, Allah grants him special blessings that manifest in the material aspects of his life, his relationships, his health, his productivity, and even his life. Prosperity. This results in a better time management, an increased productivity, a better management of priorities, and an ability to perform daily tasks efficiently. Those who begin their day with the Fajr prayer often find they have more time to complete their responsibilities, while being more focused and less distracted. Furthermore, the protection divine mentioned in the hadiths concerning Fajr extends over the day, bringing a feeling of security and calm in the face of life's uncertainty. Fajr, a key to a more fulfilled and successful life. In the end, the Salat al-Fajr is much more than an act of devotion. It is the key to a better life, blossomed and more successful. It offers a direct connection with Allah, the source of all blessing. He forges a personal discipline, cultivated patience, strengthens the resilience, and helps to overcome challenges. It transforms everyday life, bringing divine light which guides everyone towards a path of peace and success. Fajr is a source of inspiration, an invitation to transform each day into a spiritual journey. Each Fajr prayer is an act of rebirth, a new opportunity to get closer to Allah, purify the heart, and achieve total well-being. Whether one is faced with difficulties or in search of happiness, Fajr is a luminous beacon, illuminating the path of those who choose to get up to worship Allah at the first light of day. The Salat al-Fajr, much more than a simple act of devotion, reveals itself to be a source of divine light, personal transformation, and infinite blessings. By getting up early to pray, the believer opens not only his day, but also his heart, creating a deep connection with Allah. This moment of peace and reflection allows you to structure the day, cultivate personal discipline, and benefit from spiritual guidance that positively affects all aspects of life. In short, Fajr is a powerful way to start the day on the right foot, filled with serenity, productivity, and blessings. O God, make us among the people of dawn, bless our days, and grant us success in what you love and are satisfied with. O God, make prayer a light for us in this world and the hereafter, and grant us tranquility and peace in our hearts. Amen. اللهم آجلنا من أهل الفجر وبارك لنا فأيامنا ووفقنا لما تحب وترضى. اللهم آجل الصلاة ends in the world of the hereafter and رزقنا السكونة والسلام in the heart. O Allah, make us people of the dawn, bless our days and guide us to that which you love and approve. O Allah, make prayer a light for us in this world and in the hereafter, and grant us peace and tranquility in our hearts. Ameen.